What a tragedy! These fucking refs, dude. These fucking refs. Hello. These biased refs. The worst thing to happen all month. I was glad someone said it. Oh, finally something bad happened in America. Fuck. We were too high on the hog for too long. I didn't think anything could go wrong, but finally it did. Finally, it fucking did. We need a tariff on Oklahoma. Now we're talking. Tariff Oklahoma. Tariff the refs. Okay. Tariff Clancyville. We need to get this country back on track. Tariff SGA. He should get half the fouls, half the free throws. Every time he gets 2 free throws, we should get 1. We need a positive trade balance. What do you think? Lakers are getting knocked out in. They're not getting knocked out. They're going to win the whole thing. Wishon, thank you for the 37 months. Merciless Brown, thank you for the 41 months. Atrioc, I'm playing Hollow Knight for the first time. It's a lot of fun. I destroyed The Last Dreamer. Congrats. Yeah, it's a great game. I'm very excited for Silksong to release this year. As I am confident in, as I believe wholeheartedly, clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. Silksong releases this year. We're all going to play it. Going to be very fun. Going to be one of the great streams of all time. Going to be a multi-day marathon. My goat went live. I will play through Hollow Knight this summer when Silksong it comes out. Fine, sure. But remember, I just wanted you to know, this is funny. I said this exact thing in 2021. I mean, if you go back and watch the streams, I go, I got to play Hollow Knight now because I have to be done with it by the time Silksong comes out. That's not a joke. That's what I said. So you never know. Just be careful. It's a dangerous road you could be traveling down. Why is my light all effed up? Was it all goofy? Aw. I don't know. Oh, Lord. Hello. I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke. Hey, Big Ed, thought you'd be interested in the new highest reviewed game of 2025. Seems right up your alley. Jason Schreier called it a cross between Slay the Spire and Outer Wilds, a knowledge roguelike. Automod held this message. Do you work for this company at all or this game at all? Are you? I'm reading the article. Are you looking for this year's Balatro? Wow, this is a fucking... Is this an advertisement? Blueprints is suddenly the best reviewed game of 2025 instant. We may have found this year's Balatro, at least in terms of scale. 92 Metascore. Wait, is this game kind of sick? Is this game kind of fire? Blueprints. 100 from IGN France? IGN Francois? They've never, ever given 100. Malditos Nerds gave it a 90. Digital Spy gave it 100. Eurogamer, the Europeans love it. That's a red flag. The Europeans love it too much. Okay? That's a red flag. It isn't even out yet. It's an ad. I mean, these reviews are real, right? Let's read the PC Gamer review and we'll decide. No, I don't want all PC Gamer reviews. I want this review. God damn it. Just Metacritic. I'm not going to stay on your website for the rest of all time. Holy fuck! I can't click on the review and... Okay, never mind. I'm dumb. Stupid. It's actually just me being stupid. It's actually just me being stupid. There's a button right there. I have no excuse for that. That's actually just my own stupidity. Bad sign for a puzzle game. Okay, it's got... I mean, this guy just looks European. No wonder they like it. Blueprints review. I love Blueprints so much, I'm going to spend the next 1,500 words or so telling you as little about it as possible. Unraveling its many mysteries and solving its multitude of puzzles is best done if you go in with nearly no information. Don't watch videos. Don't Google solutions. Don't even finish reading this review. Just go play it. Well, it's not out. It's not out. I can't even fucking play it. There's a demo. If you think I'm going to play a demo for a game out Thursday, you're smoking crack rock in my Twitch chat. You are huffing. No, I'm not going to play the fucking demo on a game that comes out in 2 days. You would play one for Silksong? Would I? If it came out in 2 days, I probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I don't want to play the same level again when I play the full game. No, I would probably wait. I want the full experience. Honestly, a game I regret playing early, Hades 2. I wish I didn't play the early access. I wish I waited. Telling you right now, I learned my lesson from that. I didn't enjoy playing the early access because it kind of killed, not didn't kill my hype, but it like absorbed some of my hype. It like deflected it like a laser shield. And like I would rather just wait for the full game to come out and then play that. It curbed it like a mirror or a laser shield. Let's Mo's, thank you for the 49 months. I'm sorry, Atrioc, I don't have a funny sub message this month. I'll cook one for next month and come back strong. Thanks for the patience. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the patience. I'm gonna need you to drop a banger right now. No, I'm sorry, but like we do have a rule around here. If you do the big 49 months, you need to drop a banger. You need to drop something that's gonna like get the chat roaring. And like it's just all right. Let's see what he cooked up. Let's see. Checking the chat here. He said, "Glizzy, glizzy, glizzy." Yes, dude. Yes, I knew you had it in you. Holy fuck! Off the top of the fucking dome. You cooked that up with no fucking prep off the top of the dome? You walked into your boss's office, he's about to fire you, and you dropped an idea that just saved the company? That's crazy. That's crazy. QuickTime event hit. No wonder you're a 49-month sub. Anyway, I appreciate that very much. God damn. Hey, Sean, did you see Jameson Greer said the U.S. should run up the score versus Australia? That made my blood boil. I assume you mean boil. He stole that idea from me. I have been saying for a long time that if we have trade partners who buy more of our stuff than we do of theirs, and so we have no reason to tariff them at all under any reason, under any auspices, we should just run it up. We should try to make their lives worse. Because the thing that fucking sucks is having allies. It fucking sucks ass. Having any ally is a fucking stupid ass endeavor. You want to be Sigma, you want to be solo, you want to be alone. Friends hold you back. Why are you saying your own name? Librarian. Why are you in chat typing your own name? What is the fucking purpose of this? Now everyone's doing it. You're like a Pokemon. You're a fucking Pokemon. It's not aura farming. Okay. He doesn't know about Fart Master 18. Should I? Is that common knowledge, Fart Master 18? No, it's not. It's not. It's annoying to spend all your day reading Bloomberg and the Financial Times to talk about the news, and then you come online and everyone's mad that you don't know about Fart Master 18. No, that's not. It's fucked up. That's not a fucking. That's an impossible challenge. I can't simultaneously explain the rise in the long bond and also explain Fart Master 18 and how that's relevant to librarian typing his own name. I don't even know what the fuck the connection is. All right, I'm Googling it. Fart Master 18. It's his own video. What is this bullshit? Fart Master 18 links me to a fucking librarian video. It's all a fucking shell game. It's also an 8-minute video. I'm not going to watch an 8-minute video to learn about Fart Master 18 that you're fucking setting me up for. This is a fucking shell game. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is Ponzi-nomics. Scared? Yeah, I'm scared. Don't try to fucking McFly me into this. What are you, scared? Yeah, scared, I guess. Too scared to do it. Oh, well. Holy fucking shit. Okay, I do thank you for the 10 gifted. I said holy shit because they have a new animation where it goes and it starts out at 999. And then it scrolls up to 10. And I thought you gifted 900 subs. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, thank you. I sincerely appreciate the 10. I think, if anything, I'm mad at Twitch for undercutting. It's like if you're like, dude, guess what I got in my raise today? And they go, $10 million? And you're like, no, $3,000, but I was pretty happy with it. You know, it's like, don't overguess because you're ruining my fucking reveal. Anyway, you do owe me 989 subs because you got my hopes up. So you can pay that in installments or all at once. But what a bestow. Hey, Atrioc, I went to go let my 32-year-old uncle who's never seen your videos about the Lemonade Stand podcast to spread the word, and it turns out he just watched the Moving to Japan episode. Word is getting around, and I'm happy for y'all. Damn, the fact that you have, like, your old 32-year-old uncle and that guy's a year younger than me. Holy fuck. I told the oldest fucking uncle I know. He's fucking 32. He remembers when phones were on the wall. He had a fucking cartridge system that he fucking played games on as a kid. Anyway, I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked the episode, and I'm glad that you were spreading the word. Lemonade Stand is very, very fun. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I don't know. I'm working on it. It's tough because I also want to talk about things on this program. Squeaks up when? As I've mentioned, if Squeaks lived in LA, he'd be on the show straight up. But he doesn't. So I don't know if he's in LA. I mean, I have to go to him. I lost the fucking bet. I have to fly to New York and eat it at Chili's, which I love the Chili's part of it, but then I have to eat Chili's with Squeaks, which is going to be, I feel like, call me crazy here. I don't know if some of you are Squeaks fans. I feel like he's going to be goofy. He's going to be like, he's going to make a bit out of it. All right. He's not going to like just enjoy it and sit in the moment and have a good, I think he's going to be like, ooh, what kind of food are we getting? Well, he's going to do like a fucking Squeaks thing. And I want him to be like dead serious and enjoy the moment and savor it. He's going to cause a scene. Yeah. frankly, he'll ruin the meal. That's what I'm saying. Quite frankly, I'm worried he's going to ruin my Alex's Santa Fe burger and my triple dipper by making it a meme or a joke. It's not a joke to me. Okay? And honestly, if we take a little gander at the fucking stock market competition, we need Chili's to bounce back yesterday. And if Squeaks is not going to take it seriously and order a big fucking meal and make it look good for the camera, then I'm fucked. We're stealing $7,500 from charity. The numbers are getting real. This is the amount like a mid-sized streamer would raise for charity if they did a dedicated charity stream. We're stealing it with 5 pretty big streamers. Not necessarily me, Aiden, or Stans, but Doug and Lud. We're stealing it. We're reversing that. You might have just said the most millennial thing I've ever heard. What did I say? I'm taking my heckin' doggo to Gryffindor. Because I say that all the time off stream. Just saw your video about phones and shit being banned in school. At my school, there's a $50 fine for anyone caught with their phone, even on field trips and shit. Damn. Isn't that kind of like a rich kid flex, though? Like, can't the fucking rich kid just, like, flaunt that shit and then be on their phone? And then if you're broke, I mean, that's like a huge fucking fine for you and your family. You got to go home to tell your fucking dad who's working at the factory $50 on you pulling your phone out in class? That's crazy. I tell you, obviously I got some bread now, so my kid will be fucking annoying shit in class with that rule. But I tell you, if I came back to my dad with a $50 fine when he was like an airman, like in fucking Florida, I'd be getting hit with the belt. Kids of streamers, are you trying to tell me that a kid of a streamer is going to turn out bad? I don't think so. I'm going to teach him how to make content. Okay? I'm going to teach him how to open toys on camera, play Minecraft. First word is chat. Chat! That's a well-adjusted child. He's not going to want to be a YouTuber because you are? Oh, he's going to rebel? I'm saying he. Is Atrioc a Gen X or a boomer? You're going to make me fucking blow my shit off smooth. Neither. I am neither a Gen X nor a boomer. Jesus Christ, dude. Not even close. I'm not even close to either of those. I'm a silent generation. All right, we built this damn country. We survived the Great Depression. Okay, we won WW2. That's sort of how I feel, you know, when I encounter a streamer bigger than me. Like if I'm talking to XQC, for example, I like point at his chat and they're like, what are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm just a 14-year-old kid. What are you? I'm like, you know, I'm just a fucking neat. And then I go, Atrioc chatters, what is your profession? Total neat degenerate. Oh, moo. You know? You see, X, I brought more cows than you did. This is a real scene that played out. Chills. Fucking chills. All right, I'm going to put a hat on. We'll see. My kid was saying coffee cow's her favorite animal. You be proud? Sure. I'm happy. I'm happy. I need to find a way to sell a coffee cow plush so I can make money off of being called a coffee cow despite drinking no coffee. What about... sorry, we just need to watch.
They want me to fight the chicken?
Chicken jockey.
Holy fucking cinema. Holy fucking cinema! Now that's a scene that puts 300 to shame. One more time.
Chicken jockey.
That's one of the all-time great lines. That is perfect, flawless delivery by Jack Black. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Scorsese will die knowing he never reached so high.
Chicken jockey.
I need a button. I need a chicken jockey button. I have to get a chicken jockey button on the soundboard.
Chicken jockey.
Now I have it. And now I have it.
Chicken jockey.
Good. This room's now been improved. I did my work for the day. Chicken jockey stunts at Minecraft movie screenings create chaos. New rules at theaters. After young moviegoers caused an unfortunate situation as part of a disruptive and chaotic chicken jockey trend, a New Jersey movie theater has banned children from seeing the film without an adult. They engaged in completely unacceptable behavior, including vandalism. Chicken jockey is the code word that turns Gen Alpha into assassins. It's the activation phrase. They've been fucking mind poisoned by Cocomelon and iPads for their entire youth, and then chicken jockey makes them go feral. This is China's plan. This is China's plan, dude. Can I see a video of them? Oh my fucking God. I'm not a robot. I am fucking failing this test though. Wait, are these not the same shape? Just do 9 and 9.
Chicken jockey.
Holy. Holy. At least we got that. Dude. These kids are going to remember this recession so interestingly. Like the way I remember the '09 recession is like playing, I don't know. What game was I playing at the time? What's like a big game of '09? Oh yeah, I remember Dark Knight, Guitar Hero, the beginning of the Wii. No, League of Legends wasn't there yet. I didn't really play Modern Warfare. I mean, I played it, but I didn't play it like the way everyone else plays it. What was the, let's see, biggest games of 2009? Let me jog my memory here. Wii Sports. 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. I did play that. Oh, New Super Mario Bros. Was fire. What was like I played Fear. Yeah, Halo 3. I think I played like hella. There was a game called like The Specialists. It was a Half-Life mod. I remember I just played that game all the fucking time. But I don't know if that was before '09. It might have been like '07. Chicken Jockey! Damn, they should have got me, at least as a backup. Gen Alpha in 2040 is going to be reminiscing on the Minecraft movie, Skibbity Toilet, and Hawk Tuah. I'm so jealous. Yeah, but they're going to be doing it in the global water wars. So, you know, they're going to be having like Skibbity Toilet painted on the side of the bomber. That's like headed for the fucking Amazon. You know, it's going to be... it's going to be a different time for sure. Did you see Luca get thrown out for trash talking a fan? You think I didn't see it? My fucking title was "These refs are trash." Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Luca playing fucking amazing game. He points at the crowd and says some shit to a fan. The ref thinks he's pointing at him, ejects him from the game. Fucking everyone on the Lakers team flips out like, no, he was pointing. LeBron like goes up to the ref and explains it like calmly as he can. Like, didn't. Fucking annoying. Fucking annoying. Fuck the refs. I had to make the boss call. My parlay was at stake. You have the ability to unilaterally influence the refs of the NBA, and you're using it on a fucking base parlay. You can't find any better way to make money from that than you trying to do a personal parlay where you have to call in favors to get Luka kicked out of the game. Petite B, it's not your first time chat message. You have 614 chat messages, but you're asking me for your first time. Again, it's also a question that I can't even answer. I don't even know what company you're. I can't know your relative value in the marketplace. I can't know your connection with the place you'd be working. I don't even know if the place you'd be working does last in, first out as a regular course of business. I can't give you an answer to that question. I have no possible way of knowing enough details about your life. You're going to have to fucking bite the bullet and make your life choices yourself. Or do the smart thing and find the streamer with even more viewers. Go to XQC. The problem is I can't solve it because I don't have enough. Viewers are like mind power to a streamer. Okay? The more viewers you get, the more neurons activate. You need to go to Kai Cenat. You need to go to XQC. You need to go to Aiden Ross. They have enough viewers to get the spirit bomb and give you the collective knowledge. Asmongold. They will solve your problem. Dog, I'm so brain rotted I can't lock in for even 1 millisecond. Which shark coin should I buy? Now, that's a good question. That's what I can help you out with. You're going to want to buy Cum Fart Coin because it's got fundamentals. All right? Don't buy Cum Coin. That's a joke. Don't buy Fart Coin. That's old news. Cum Fart Coin combines the two to create a financial wonderland, a paradise. that you can, it's a blue chip. It's a reliable, especially in these turbulent tariff times, you're going to want Comfort Coin for your family's financial security. Oh, dude, speaking of crypto, let me see if I have this, this news item. Yeah, the Justice Department is just eliminating its financial crimes division with regards to crypto. Its entire crypto squad has been axed. Just gone. No longer pursuing any cases. You can see it here. They're just not going to enforce crypto cases, which is interesting. So I sent this. I mean, I saw this as it got published because I was in my reading time. And I sent it instantly to Coffeezilla. He might have made a video by now. We can watch it. But I sent it instantly to him, and he sent me back. He said, I'm so depressed about it. It's all I can do is to laugh. Thinking about hanging up the hat, I mean suspenders. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, what is the point of him being able to bring attention to crypto fraud if there's no enforcement? Oh, we did make a void video? Let's see. Is it long? Because I'm still brain rotted. This is actually perfect. No, wait, did he? I don't. Oh, for you.
Welcome to my ongoing slide into depression. The U.S. Justice Department just disbanded their cryptocurrency enforcement unit. At this point, guys, it's just us. We're the only ones out here calling this stuff out. The government itself does not care. It is funny. You know, I used to be more optimistic than on Coffeezilla, it's part of the aesthetic is like this depressed detective. And I used to be slightly more optimistic. And then we got the void. And slowly I have become maybe more jaded than I even show on Coffeezilla. At this point, on Coffeezilla, I'm trying to bring some light to it. I'm trying to bring it lighthearted. And I barely can. I am way more cynical and black-pilled than I've ever been in regards to the government, law enforcement. It's absurd. I mean, what are we exactly doing here? So the real memo here is that essentially in light of the Trump presidency, they're going to cool off on a lot of their prior enforcements, specifically as it relates to virtual currency exchanges, mixing and tumbling services like Tornado Cash, and offline wallets. And they say this is to target instead.
Do you guys think Coffeezilla is just jealous of all the gains everyone made in crypto and is like taking it out on the world? Or do you guys get the vibe that he's like a fudder, you know, who secretly is jealous of SBF for being more brilliant than him? Definitely. Do you think Coffeezilla bought a bunch of crypto, but then when it did a slight dip, he sold and panicked and had paper hands, and now he's mad at all the diamond hands chads that are holding strong? Yeah, I think so too. What? No.
End users who actually do the crime, they say they're still going to focus on that. They're just gutting the enforcement team, which is a bit strange. I will say, though, how are you supposed to find the criminals if you don't enforce any actions on the tools that criminals use? Does that make sense? Like, one of the big problems in crypto is you can be completely anonymous and steal a bunch of money and then launder that money with these tools in the middle and then off-ramp it and nobody knows, nobody's the wiser, right? So the part of the way this was addressed was you target the thing in the middle, which is Tornado Cash, for example. The problem is now we're saying we're not going to do that. We're not going to target any of the tools that criminals use. We're just going to target the criminals. But how are you supposed to target the criminals when you don't know where they are because of the tools, right? It's kind of this funny thing. But honestly, I hope that they are actually going to continue to target the people who do this stuff, the actual criminals. I just think it's doubtful, to be honest, because The DOJ says it won't pursue cases it feels are better left to financial regulators, which is, it's just incredibly loose language. And the problem is the financial regulators themselves have been gutted, as evidenced by every day it seems that the SEC is dropping another case. So what financial regulators are we leaving cases to exactly? This seems more like...
For those who haven't been through something like this is like exactly the steps that happened in Clancyville to make it go from a thriving city to a despair-ridden hellhole. Really, I distinctly remember when Clancyville stopped enforcing financial crimes. Like I've lived through that. I know my lived experience matters to you, but I remember that happening and thinking, wow, this could be bad. And all of a sudden, it is scary stuff. Who dat? Thank you. Actually, one second, guys. Ari, her maid of honor, her best friend from Japan, is visiting us for a week and is probably just arriving. And I want to say hi. So, 1 second. 1 fucking second. I need to say hi. Fucking madhouse in here, huh? How long was it even gone? What, 1 minute? And it's everyone's spamming Coke and cum and... No, dude, no. No. That was a fast hello? Yeah, I hugged him. Told him, thank you so much for coming. So excited to see you here. And I'm just going to finish up what I'm doing here. Wait, watch more of this video. I mean, this is kind of a sad video, to be honest. Coffeezilla is a voice of truth and reason, especially in the crypto world. It's very hard to track or enforce anything. And I thought him... One thing I'll say, though, is maybe I'm slightly less doomer on the lack of crypto enforcement specifically, only because I think crypto has already scammed so much, it solved itself. In my mind, and from what I'm seeing, the problem of young men being lured into crypto to lose their money is now kind of ending, in that they've already been scammed so much they've been burned away. Everyone has been rugged, and so I just see the prices dropping left and right on all sorts of crypto, even with the government behind them, essentially. So I do feel, I still think it should be persecuted, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's doomed regardless. Crypto as currency.
Just step back in general, at large. I hope that's not true, but it does appear to be the case. I will also say it's notable that the person who wrote this was one of President Trump's former criminal defense attorneys. Now he's the deputy attorney general, so he's sort of like flipped his roles. But this policy does seem to be more in the line of, we're doing a lot less in crypto. We're going to kind of put our hands off and say that's the purview of the regulators, while the regulators also have their hands off. We kind of get this sense because of where they've actually put their key, people. So there's this guy, a prosecutor, Yoon Young Choi. He was one of the top guys who played a role in the department's most significant cryptocurrency cases, according to the Washington Post, including against the owners of Tornado Cash and the prosecution of Abraham Eisenberg. So this big shot, prosecutor of big crypto cases, where do they put him? Well, they move him to a newly created Sanctuary Cities division of the Justice Department. So we're reassigning people. We don't want them covering financial crime of cryptocurrency. Is that a convenient thing now that our government is also inextricably embedded in cryptocurrency as well? They have financial interest in cryptocurrency. I don't know. I can't say. All I can say is it's weird to call this stuff out. I will say that. It's kind of strange because it used to be we call this stuff out and it was sort of explicitly or implicitly illegal, or you had good reason to believe, this is probably bad. Now we're calling it out and it's like, is it actually... is it actually? I don't know if it is. The joke is crime is legal, but what does that statement even mean? It's odd, and it has me beyond Blackfield. Like there have been jokes on the Reddit, like, man, I feel bad for Coffeezilla. He's watching everything.
It does
become
seem
legal,
sad.
It's I can't tell you how weird it really is. I am forced to laugh about it because I don't know what I would do if I didn't. It's a bizarre thing. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Sorry to kind of vent a little bit, but it is an interesting position we are in here on The Void. We're sort of, it's become catch and release. Like we report on stuff and it's like, well, actually that's legal now. It's odd. So yeah, every day it seems like we get new news about this stuff.
I mean, I think he's a little doom-pilled on his own impact, but I think people seeing his widely spread work helps them avoid falling into similar traps, regardless of whether they're prosecuted by the law. I mean, I think he's doing very valuable things.
But yeah, we got to continue reporting on it for now until I figure out what I'm going to do here. By the way, Tornado Cash, one of these money laundering tools, got delisted recently. Of course, they ironically say, we remain deeply concerned about significant state-sponsored hacking and money laundering campaign aimed at stealing, acquiring, and deploying assets for North Korea. But we just delisted the platform they were using. So that's we're deeply concerned. But we're allowing it. We'll allow it, but I'm deeply concerned. Okay, that's basically it.
Oh man, he's gonna become the crypto Joker or Batman. Well, I think if we don't see Coffeezilla and then we start seeing a masked man beating up hodlers, we'll know where it was. One bad rug pull. When I got these rugs. Dan Clancy got rich through crypto. No, you're doing anything. We should start his own crypto scam. If Jack Black did a rug pull, I'd thank him. Chicken jockey coin? Can you imagine?
Chicken jockey.
I'd have to buy in, dude. You'd have to. I'd be mad, but it's legal. That's actually a good idea. Yeah, thank you. I need crypto to crash so Clint Stevens is forced to stream again. Listen, I don't know Clint's financials, but I do know that he asked for my advice, and I set him up with a guy to help get all his taxes paid and hopefully diversified. So I don't think he has to. I don't think he's still holding a bunch of fucking shit coins. But maybe he is. I have no insight. Hey, Neely K. Thank you for the 20 months. It's not a first time chatter. Your positivity really rains on my bitchy pessimism. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try to fucking tone it down. I was watching your VOD the other day where you talked about phones in schools, reminding me that kids with asthma are not allowed to carry their inhalers with them and have to go to the nurse's office if they need to use one. Why is that? Why are you not allowed to carry your inhaler? That doesn't make any fucking sense. The nurse should have to hold all the phones. Like when you should be able to like have a panic attack in class from not having enough dopamine. And then you can go to the office and she can let you scroll TikTok for at least 20 minutes to cool down. That'd be fucking sick. Like, if the teacher is boring enough, then you should be able to have a phone like an inhaler. You should be able to have that as like a fucking, just a, please God, give me some focus. Yeah, they did remove de minimis exemption for imports. And, you know, I mean, the current tariff for China, you know, I talked about this yesterday. They're having the back and forth, you know. Trump says, I'm going to add a 32% tariff. China says, we're going to have a 34% back on you. Trump says, I'm going to add 50% on top of that. Well, anyway, it did it. So now we're at 104% on China, which essentially is a decoupling of, you can't trade anything profitably at 104% tariff. It's like ridiculous. So, and they got rid of the de minimis rule. So so even small things are tariffed. You can't just like buy one little thing off Alibaba or whatever. So this like goes in effect tomorrow, I think. April 9th is when they start actually charging. But it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big decoupling. This is so cool and awesome. Thanks, Udette. That's fucking... I didn't think that, but you've changed my mind. Today, a coworker took off to buy the new iPhone before tariffs made the price increase. Well, Apple actually planned for this. Not joking. Apple saw the tariffs coming, has been stockpiling iPhones, and last second, after the new ones got announced, but before they got implemented, they flew 5 jumbo jets full of iPhones. 5 cargo jets full of iPhones, stocked full to the top, to try and at least have some supply. Now, obviously, you know, there's demand is pretty high. Those are going to run out relatively quickly. But the idea is that they can get even a few months supply, they can hopefully outlast the tariffs. That everyone's kind of just trying to outlast them because they don't expect them to stay around just because they're going to be so unpopular, so deeply unpopular. And you know, I've been trying to hammer this on. I think it's every day, but regardless of what you think about it, I don't think many people are defending them anymore. But even if somehow you did defend them, I'm just telling you factually, no fooling around. There's going to be quick, large, significant layoffs if the tariffs don't change. Because if you're a company that has to import 100,000 worth of goods from China or whatever, and now you have to pay an extra $100,000 to get your goods at the fucking harbor, usually you don't have that money. Most companies run they're not like Apple where they have a ton of cash sitting around. They run relatively lean. That is working capital you don't have. And so you have to do layoffs just to even get your shit so you can sell it at a markup to try and make your money back. You have to fucking cut. It's going to be crazy. And if you don't have that money, they sit on the fucking lot at the port and you pay storage fees every day you don't pay it. And if you don't pay those storage fees after like, I don't know the exact time. I think it's 1 to 3 months. If you don't do that, they auction it. So you're competing against your own products being sold at auction for free or low price. I mean, it's a fucking dangerous situation. So people are going to cut in real time jobs, lots of jobs. And that's going to be really unpopular. Bro, is the fucking librarian still here? Librarian, you here? No, he's not. Okay. Okay. You rang, you're not the librarian. Because he fucking, I just wanted to bring it up because this guy I used to work with named Garvey, he worked at Twitch. He tweeted this kind of out of the blue and said, remember the good old days? And it was me and Mike Udall, who was like the ASU Heroes of the Dorm champion. And he tweeted this thing and it had zero, it had like 1 like or whatever. And I was like, if I like this, it's going to show up in people's feeds and they're going to say stupid shit to Garvey. Garvey doesn't know anything about my streaming or, whatever. But I was like, well, it would be rude of me to not like it. So I did like it. And then, of course, it showed up in fucking Dan Giesling's feed, what are those, my shoes? I don't see what the fucking problem is. And then fucking the librarian said, my God, he's getting insanely hairline mogged. And then this person saying, man, he looked old in college. It's not even me in college. This is me going out to speak at ASU when I was at Twitch. And I was showing my jersey and the new jersey. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. And now Garvey's seeing all these responses. Bro wore a tie and short sleeves. I rolled my sleeves up because it's fucking Arizona. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Please shut the fuck up. Bro thinks he's Obama. Oh my God. Oh my God. The hardest fit in Clancyville. This is a good fit, all right? I went up there and I spoke about esports, something I truly believe in and will last forever. Have you seen this really well-made speech by the Singapore PM regarding tariffs? I have seen this.
Mr. Speaker.
But I'll watch it. We should watch it. Well, actually, I haven't seen the full 23-minute version. I saw the clip. I saw like the 4-minute clip.
We have known for some time that the world is in flux. The familiar signposts are fading, but the contours of a new global system have yet to take shape.
True.
So we are in a period of transition, uncertain, unsettled, and increasingly unstable.
True.
The recent Liberation Day tariff announcements by the US confirms this stark reality. The era of rules-based globalization and free trade is over. This marks a profound turning point. We are entering a new phase in global affairs.
Yep.
One that is more arbitrary, protectionist, and dangerous. For nearly 80 years since the end of World War II, America was the anchor for the free market economies of the world. It championed free trade and open markets and led efforts to build a multilateral trading system. This WTO system ushered in decades of global growth and stability. It allowed trade to flourish and lifted millions out of poverty. It benefited the world and contributed to America's own economic strength. And objectively, America continues to enjoy unrivaled economic heft. In fact, the US rebounded more quickly than other advanced economies from the COVID pandemic.
True.
It has surged ahead of all its major competitors in the advanced industrial world. But not all Americans feel this way about their economy. There are hollowed out towns in what was once America's thriving industrial belt. There are workers whose jobs have disappeared and whose incomes have stagnated. They believe that the American economy...
Dude, first of all, just crazy that the Prime Minister of Singapore is even having to showcase the side about the hollowed out Rust Belt towns in America. Like, can you imagine an American leader, really on any side, talking about like problems in villages in Singapore? You know, like outside of the. It's just why it's funny that he even has to. What I'm saying is true. It's just funny that he has to do it. It's just funny that he has to do it. It's fun. It's.
Economy is fundamentally broken. Discontent was already visible in the 1990s when protesters disrupted the WTO meeting in Seattle. Frustrations deepened following the global financial crisis of 2008 and more recently after the COVID pandemic. To be clear, the global economic system is in need of reform. Singapore and many others have called for changes, and we have been working with like-minded countries and partners at the WTO to reform its processes. A key concern in America is China. The sense that the US had given away too much in allowing China to join the WTO, and that China competes on an unfair basis, for example, by heavily subsidizing its own companies, putting up non-tariff barriers, and restricting market access to US firms. These concerns should be addressed within the WTO framework. In particular, the trade arrangements and concessions made in the past when China was only 5% of the world's economy should be updated when China now makes up 15% of the world's GDP.
True.
And if there are disagreements, they should be resolved through the WTO's dispute resolution settlement system, which has been paralyzed and urgently needs to be restored and reformed. But what the US is doing now is not reform. It is rejecting the very system it created. The US has imposed a blanket 10% tariff on imports for nearly all countries. On top of that, it has layered on higher tariffs, up to 50% for selected countries, especially those that run a trade surplus with the US. According to the administration, the sweeping tariffs are needed to fix America's trade imbalances. But there is nothing inherently wrong about running a trade deficit. It simply means that American consumers are buying more from the world than the world is buying from America. Moreover, the focus has been solely on the goods trade. That only gives a partial picture. In fact, the US runs a surplus with many of its trading partners in services, exporting software services, education, entertainment, financial and business services. But this fact has been completely ignored.
True.
In Singapore's case, we have an FTA with America. We impose zero tariffs on US imports, and we actually run a trade deficit with the US, meaning we buy more from them than they do from us.
Surely you didn't get tariffed, right?
If the tariffs were truly reciprocal, and if they were meant to target only those with trade surpluses, then the tariff for Singapore should be zero. But still, we are being subjected to the 10% tariff. We are very disappointed by the US move, especially considering the deep and long-standing friendship between our two countries. These are not actions one does to a friend.
Yikes! Yikes! Yikes, dude. He's giving us the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed parent speech. Yikes, dude. This is like what a friend would say to you if you truly fucked around. You know, like if you were an asshole to a friend for a long time, they would sit you down and say this and it would feel so bad. It would feel so bad.
Asia bears the brunt of the US tariff increase. Within the region, China is the hardest hit, facing a 34% tariff this round. And this is on top of the 20% tariff increase imposed over the last 2 months and the 20% from the first Trump administration. So taken together, the average US tariff on Chinese products now exceeds 60%. In Southeast Asia, the tariff rates range from 10% to 49%. These measures will accelerate the fracturing of the global economy. Instead of flowing based on economic efficiency, capital and trade will increasingly be diverted based on political alignment and strategic considerations. Several members have asked about the impact of the tariffs on specific industries in Singapore. We are assessing the situation carefully, but our deeper worry is not the direct impact that these businesses face. It is the wider implications for the global trading system and the world economy. So let me explain.
Please do.
First, the reciprocal tariffs are a fundamental rejection of the WTO rules. One of the cornerstones of the WTO multilateral trading system is the most favored nation principle, or MFN. Most favored nation sounds like giving special privileges. Actually, it means the opposite, that every member must treat all other members equally. In other words, if a country extends more favorable terms or imposes additional restrictions to one trading partner, it must do the same to all other WTO members. There are some carve-outs and exceptions to the MFN rule, for example, to allow free trade agreements. But MFN has long been the bedrock of the multilateral trading system. It ensures a level playing field, prevents discrimination, and enables countries, big or small, to compete fairly in global markets. This has helped to liberalize trade amongst more than 100 WTO members, each with different economic and political and social concerns.
He's great.
America's new tariff regime is a complete repudiation of the MFN principle. It opens the door to selective country-by-country trade relations based on unilateral
He's just
preferences.
making it very clear.
If other countries adopt the same approach as the US, the rules-based trading system will unravel. This will spell trouble for all nations, but smaller countries like Singapore will face greater pressures, because small countries have limited bargaining power in one-on-one bilateral negotiations. So the major powers will dictate the terms, and we risk being marginalized and sidelined. Second, the likelihood of a full-blown global trade war is growing.
Yeah.
Singapore has decided not to impose
So that's
retaliation.
what I'm talking about tomorrow. I'm gonna watch this whole thing. We'll see. So far, he's spitting hot fire, so I don't want to stop it. But that's what I'm talking about tomorrow on the podcast, is the likelihood of a total trade war and what that means, and historical examples of trade wars and what that's led to. Sometimes into world wars. I mean, the trade war is getting, one of the big things that prevented major power conflicts for the past 70 years, 80 years is free trade, is the economic connections.
Retaliatory tariffs. Doing so will only lead to increased cost for Singaporeans. But other countries may not be guided by the same considerations and may have different perceptions and views. China has already imposed retaliatory tariffs on US goods. Others, like the European Union, are considering their next steps. Some think that the new tariffs are a negotiating tactic, a negotiating tool by the US to extract concessions in other areas. This was what President Richard Nixon did in 1971. He slapped a 10% surcharge on imports to pressure Germany and Japan to devalue their currencies, and when they did, the tariffs came off. Indeed, there is a brief window for countries to negotiate and get some reprieve from the US before the higher tariffs take effect. And it may be possible for some rates to be lowered. But we have to be realistic. Once trade barriers go up, they tend to stay up. Rolling them back is much harder, even after the original rationale no longer applies. Even if some partial accommodations are eventually worked out, the uncertainty generated by such a drastic move will dampen global confidence and growth. It will be very hard to restore the previous status quo. And in particular, it doesn't look like the 10% universal rate is open for negotiation. This seems to be the fixed minimum tariff, regardless of a country's trade balance or existing trade arrangements. Furthermore, there are other forces that could maintain the momentum for tariffs. In particular, many European countries are eager to protect their critical industries like electric vehicles, green technologies, and semiconductors from Chinese competition.
Right.
They do not want to be a dumping ground for exports from China or other countries. There is also a growing push across the West to strengthen their domestic manufacturing capabilities and to reduce dependence on global supply chains, especially in strategic industries. So this round of tariff increases by the US may just be the beginning of more increases to come globally. And we've seen this play out before.
Yeah, he's kind of
The
like...
US enacted sweeping tariff increases through the Smoot-Hawley Act in 1930. Many countries protested, and a number retaliated with their own trade restrictions and tariffs. This deepened and extended the Great Depression. In some ways, today's risk may be greater. The new US tariffs, if fully enacted, are higher than the ones in Smoot-Hawley.
Significantly.
Trade is now a much bigger part of the American and global economy compared to the 1930s. Supply chains are also more deeply connected than they were back then. Any disruption to trade flows will have wider knock-on effects on the world. This brings me to...
We never had a leader in America say knock-on effects once. Ever. In my whole life, have I ever had a leader worry about the knock-on effects? Not once.
the third point, which is the impact on the global economy. Business and consumer confidence has already been hit by the tariffs. International trade and investments will suffer. Our economic agencies got in touch with several multinational enterprises and local businesses after the tariff announcement. Even those who were not directly affected by the tariffs are worried about weakening demand from their consumers. Some have put new projects on hold while they assess the full implications of the tariffs.
Yeah.
These are reactions from companies based here, but I'm sure the same conversations are happening in boardrooms elsewhere.
Yeah. Across America.
Over the recent days, we have seen sharp negative reactions in global stock markets.
True.
It is too early to tell if all this will spill over into the real economy. But the down...
Bro, did you see? Wait, I'll just pause real quick because I want to watch the rest of this, but I do want to jump on his point. So many people took a fucking victory lap today because it was green in the morning. Listen, the stock market might go green for a day or a week or a fucking month, but I mean, the trend is downward right now because the fucking chaos is up. But they didn't even wait for the fucking full day. It was green for the morning. And I had a bunch of people fucking, oh, is this the recession? I'm trying to find the example. Where's the, yeah, right here. This guy, Trump is as bad as causing recessions as he is at causing world wars. Green. Black Monday hoax is over. David Sachs hasn't tweeted in a fucking week, comes out of the fucking woodwork to tweet that the whole thing was a hoax. Besant the Benevolent, worst recession ever from fucking Madison shithead Cawthorn. And then fucking by the end of the day, it's deeper red. Like it's down. Everything's down on the day. You just tweet it in the fucking morning. Benny Johnson was back again. Benny Johnson, who said, he's the guy that just said it doesn't matter if you lose money. Isn't he the guy who just said don't care about the stock market? It doesn't matter if you lose money. Like, it builds character. But then the second it goes green, he's fucking bragging about it. And then it goes red again. It's absurd. It's absurd. I don't know. Double standard on talking about the stock market. I'm trying to see. He tweeted right here. You know, it's up a little bit. He tweeted right here. He literally rang the fucking top. But there will be more green days. It's not, you know, it's more about, you should look at the fucking VIX, dude. Look at the VIX. This is the thing. This is the uncertainty index. Really high in 08, really high in 2020, really high now. Okay? It just means things are going to get more erratic, bigger swings, bigger whipsaws. It means the market has realized shit is not stable. Shit is not stable. Things are not priced appropriately. And there's a mad rush to the exit to figure it out. So just understand that anyone trying to use a single day fucking stock ticker to tell you a story is fucking crazy. You know what's fucked up when Bitcoin's more stable than the New York Stock Exchange? Bitcoin ain't stable for shit, bro. As I've said, the true proof of whether or not Bitcoin is digital gold is how well it holds up in this fucking time. Okay? And it's dropping like it's a tech stock. Bitcoin is dropping exactly the same as fucking Google or fucking Tesla or fucking there's nothing special about it, dude. It's not showing any like counter cyclical thing where the market goes one way and Bitcoin stays stable. The Bitcoin does exactly what the market does. It's 19% down this year is probably exactly the same as the NASDAQ. What is the... Dude, look at that. This year, Bitcoin down 19, NASDAQ down 20. It's the same fucking thing. There's no... Bitcoin is a bet on tech stocks. There's no difference, dude. It's always tracked at 1-to-1. Everyone's acting like it's so... It's not digital gold. Let's see. Actual gold, tough guy. Actual gold's up 10%. What's this? Oh. I call my stock trades parlays. Hey, Atrioc, I work at Shein and the de minimis law goes into effect on May 8th. I went into my boss's office and asked him about it. He said, yeah, we got a lot of stuff in Indiana and all that. Well, completely ignoring my question. Am I cooked? He probably doesn't have an answer for your question. His answer is what everyone else is doing, is that they've stocked up for these tariffs and they're waiting and seeing. That's what they're doing. That's what all the companies have been doing that have any kind of foresight, is they have pre-shipped a ton of fucking shit to America into warehouses, and they're going to try and sell that and do nothing, and hopefully the tariffs go away. It's a waiting game. So I don't have the answer to your question. I do know that there's going to be a lot of layoffs, assuming that there's no deal made on tariffs. And then whether the political fallout from that causes a change of course or not. There's also a bill. I mean, the whole, ideally the president is not the one imposing tariffs. That's not how the law is written. Congress is the power of the purse. But the president can impose tariffs if he declares a national emergency that requires it, which is what he did, saying that us getting ripped off on trade is a national emergency, which is why he's able to declare tariffs on every country in the world. And obviously, because Republicans control the House and the Senate, they go along with it. They're not going to stop him. But if it's unpopular enough that they think they might lose, they could. I think Rand Paul, I forget which of the Pauls is still in office. Ron Burgundy, Rand Paul put a bill out with a Democrat. It was a Republican-Democrat bipartisan bill to undeclare the state of emergency and basically say it's not an emergency. Congress has the control here. Jake Paul, I think, did it. It was Jake Paul. Yeah, it was Jake Paul. I think it was RuPaul's Drag Race. I want to watch a little bit more of the video, actually. That was really good, and I was learning from this well-spoken leader, but I lost there. Let's see.
Downside risks are clearly rising. What's troubling is not just the tariffs themselves, which are already damaging, but the fact that this new wave of protectionism is unpredictable and unstable. Protectionism is already bad. Unstable protectionism is even worse. Businesses don't know what to expect. Many are holding back, fearful that changing rules will leave them with stranded assets. And all this creates an environment of deep uncertainty, one that could tip both the US and global economy into recession. The consequences extend far beyond economics. More and more countries are turning away from win-win cooperation and deeper integration.
Yeah.
Instead, we see a rising me-first, win-lose mindset, where it's every country for itself. Some are even prepared to use aggressive or coercive means to get what they want at the expense of others.
Do you know what's crazy? I was sorry to pause again, but it is a funny thing. So I've talked about this a bunch. I'm not going to go into it again. But there's the idea that in times of uncertainty, where is this? I just want to show you this. How can I see? Yeah. Can I get like a... Why is this graph so stupid? Show me the fucking zoomed out version. Okay. It's not... Okay, well, hey, you can see it. Okay, so in times of uncertainty, people flock to bonds, like IOUs from the government, because that's safe. It's always paid back. And it drives the yield down. Sometimes it would be United States. That would be the flock of safety. But what's actually been happening is people are dumping a ton of money into fucking Swiss bonds. And like they went negative. At some point recently, they were going negative, which was like you're paying them to let you loan them money. Like, because Switzerland is such a stable country. They had like some short-term negative yields. It's pretty fucking wild, dude. Swiss bonds negative. Let's see. Anyway, they're like considered like the, from what I could tell from bond yields, the safest place to park your money. And so you're literally not even getting a return. They're not paying you any interest. They're paying you negative interest. Yeah, it's basically rent to store your money there. It's wild. Anyway, our bonds are not going down. They're actually rising. I'm talking about tomorrow, so I don't want to spoil my whole thing, but they're rising. People are not seeing us as a safe haven, which is fucking the whole point.
Meanwhile, global institutions are getting weaker and long-standing norms of cooperation are breaking down. One major concern is the US-China relationship. America views China as a strategic competitor and threat, which must be dealt with now while America still has the advantage. China says it is ready for a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war.
Ominous.
The US has now threatened an extra 50% tariff on China, and China says it will fight till the end. There are fewer channels for dialogue, which can serve as guardrails to manage the relationship. So if the disputes escalate and destabilize US-China relationship, the consequences for the world would be disastrous. We must be mentally prepared. The predictable and rules-based order we once knew is fading. The new era will be more volatile with more frequent and unpredictable shocks. We must be ready to stand firm and protect our interests, no matter how the external winds may blow. What does all...
It's insane that Singapore... I mean, I don't know this guy, to be honest, but based on this, he seems like a extremely thoughtful, insightful, understanding his country's place in the world, their advantages, their disadvantages, what's going on around them. It's crazy that Singapore got two. It's crazy they got Lee Kuan Yew and this guy. You'd think that's lucky. That's lucky because when you have an authoritarian state, the risk of it going wrong is like when you get some dumb grandson of some, you get somebody's kid or you get somebody who doesn't know shit and they get in office and fuck everything up. But they got two. They got two like seemingly really good leaders. That's incredible.
All this mean for Singapore? In the near term, we expect weaker global growth, which means external demand for our goods and services will...
You'll be the next. The next leader of Singapore is Hudat 950. They're gonna go from this guy to Hudat, and you're gonna keep an even keel, right? You're gonna keep the country strong. You're gonna have a wise speech like this. Smart move.
Will fall. The outward-oriented sectors of our economy will suffer the brunt of the impact. They include manufacturing, especially segments like electronics and semiconductors, biomedical science, which have higher export exposure to the US, wholesale trade and transport will be impacted. The global uncertainty and dampened sentiments will also impact some services industries, including finance and insurance. Singapore may or may not go into recession this year, but I have no doubt that our growth will be significantly impacted. We had originally projected GDP growth of 1% to 3% for 2025. MTI is reassessing the growth forecast and will likely revise it downwards.
Dude. Also, that statement seems like normal on the surface, but it's just insane because nobody in America would ever say that. Nobody in America would ever just be honest. Like, yeah, this is going to be bad. Growth might slow. They would never do that. They would always put a spin on it that it's like going to be great. We just couldn't take it.
Lower growth will mean fewer job opportunities and smaller wage increases for workers. And if more companies face difficulties or relocate their operations back to the US, there will be higher retrenchments and job losses. For now, the measures announced in this year's budget will provide support for any short-term strain. We have a comprehensive package of measures for households.
I think he's getting into like specifics on Singapore at the end here, which you can watch if you're interested. But he did summarize what I think is happening in the world pretty clearly, clear vision. You better buy your stuff from China soon. Tariffs hit East Coast, but you're safe for a couple hours. All right. Let me get on Alibaba right now and rush order 400,000 no, not hot dog carts, not glizzies. Not cow plushes, not iPhones, not hat blanks, not dildos, not hot dog rollers. Oh, the little fucking what am I thinking of? Funko Pop. Fucking having a Funko Pops, dude. I need to order Funko Pops quickly. I need as many Funko Pops as I can fucking get quickly. All right. How am I going to get a complete collection if I have to pay a fucking tariff price? I need to secure a full supply. As a guy who graduated high school in COVID and now graduated college last year and recently on a job. Sorry, you graduated high school, you graduated college, and you have a job. And you feel like you're screwed and are super sad. I understand that like this is a tumultuous time and you could easily be upset about it, but you're doing fine, right? You got your degree, you got a fucking job instantly apparently after college. There's people going through some worse stuff, man. Big bro, big A, big glizzy guy. In your bonds presentation, could you make it clear to me why anyone would choose them over international equity? Frankly, there's a lot of data of bond being EWE. You don't have to ask like this. Safety and stability is why you'd pick a bond, all right? You buy a government bond that has 2% on it, unless that country literally dissolves, you're probably going to get that 2% payment. You buy stocks anywhere, America, internationally, anywhere, they could tank. As every market has tanked. You could lose money. You get higher upside with stocks, but higher risk of downside. With a bond, you get your fucking... You get your cheddar, exactly what's printed on the fucking coupon. That's why people go to bonds in scary times. But they're not going to American bonds for the first time. Not the first time, but first time in our recent memory. Coffeezilla on Lemonade Stand. I've extended the invite. He seemed positive about it. But he also said it depends on if he can get to LA, you know? So it's a TBD. And also, he might be fucking hanging at the spenders. He's depressed, dude. Also, he fucking hates Aiden. Also, he said, listen, I love you and Doug. I just can't fucking do it with that Aiden guy. And probably because Aiden fucking scams so many people with crypto. Unironically, in 21, Aiden was one of those guys talking about buying metaverse properties. Not kidding. Yeah. He's got a crypto apartment? He does. Some of you don't have a fucking house, and Aiden's got a crypto apartment. Well, you're fucking wondering about where you're going to sleep. Aiden's fucking snoozing it, sound and secure in his crypto apartment in the metaverse. He famously bought a apartment NFT. Famously. Yard viewers in a conversation when the other person hasn't seen the yard. You don't know this? You don't know fucking every aspect of Slime's life? I try. Is Aiden fire? Should I take all my money and put it into North Korean bonds? Finally, a good question. Yes. There's two countries whose bonds are rock solid right now. Ukraine and North Korea. They offer incredibly high yields because they're such safe investments. You need to get your money into them. What returns? Dude, I mean, because it's so risky, right? They might not pay you back. I think Ukrainian government bonds are like, wasn't it like 50%? Am I correct? No, it's 25%. You can get a 25% yearly return. Guaranteed. On a Ukrainian government bond. All it has to do is exist as a nation. Mm. 1 year? I mean, you buy a 10-year bond. You get 25% a year in interest every year for 10 years, then get your money back. Sounds great. Sounds fucking great. Just have to. Why do countries offer bonds? What's the benefit? It's an IOU. They're borrowing money. A bond is just a fancy word for IOU, and it's just a fancy way of them saying, we need money. Can you loan it to us? And they try to give you the lowest possible interest they can, and the market decides what that interest rate is. So the safer your country is, more reliable it is, the better your growth rate, the stability, you can offer lower interest rates because you're more likely to pay it back. It's like if you have two friends and one of them's a flake and one of them's really stable with a solid job, you'll charge the one that's stable with less interest because you know you're getting paid back. It's like if you're a rich person, you get a credit card with a lower rate than a poor person. It's just, that's, I wouldn't charge my friends interest. Well, then you're not truly understanding the new world era we're in. Did you not listen to Singapore? We don't have friends anymore, okay? We make fucking money. We stay broke. Stay broke. If they're a true friend, you should treat them like Switzerland and pay them to borrow money. If your Swiss friend comes up and asks to borrow $100, you should give them $5 and then the 100. The $5 is a bonus for asking. Oh, thanks for the gifties. Ya boy tactics. Do you have a message? What is this? Ya boy tactics. How to escape North Korea. How to escape North Korea. Nah, I don't know if that's appropriate for us right now. Is there a... Oh, there was a Veritasium video. Does anyone know if it's fucking good? The problem is there's some news I want to talk about, but I'm kind of avoiding it because I want to talk about it tomorrow on the podcast. I'm worried. I used to watch this guy, Scott Galloway, when I was like probably late college. But then I noticed he would say the same talking points on every fucking podcast he was on. He just repeats the same shit everywhere he goes. And so I got really annoyed with him. And I stopped listening to him. And so I want to avoid that. I want to have enough new stuff to talk about. And so I want to have my stuff that I've learned and prepared be ready for the podcast and not for here. I like Scott Galloway. Is he not good? Scott Galloway's great, but he just repeats himself a lot. He oversubscribed himself. Scott Galloway learns at a normal human rate. He has one interesting new thing to say a week, but he does 8 podcasts a week. Plus interviews. You know what I'm saying? So he... Eddie Burback video? Oh, wait, I'll watch that. Wait, this is the one about quitting phone, right? Like phone bad. Wait, I'm interested. I hate my phone, so I got rid of it. I know, it's too fucking long. It's an excellent video. All right, we'll try. We're starting.
A few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Twitter, an app that I hate, wasting my time, when I came across this post. FaZe Sway's GF, Alina Rose, gifted one of the guys her used panties during the Bop House 5v1 stream with Vex Bolts. Now, I only recognize, I think, one word from that sentence, and it's the word panties, and it made me realize something. I hate my phone. I am constantly using my phone to see things that I don't want to see. Over the last few years, it has become increasingly unfun to use this thing. So why do I keep using it? Apps and social media have gotten much better at drawing me in, but lately I'll break out of my screen time feeling like nothing of value happened. I feel like a lab rat incentivized by cheese, but instead of delicious cheese, I'm being fed dorky ass clips of Elon Musk. It's embarrassing.
Elon Musk saying, let's legalize comedy is fire. That's why a phone should exist. When he says, I am become meme, you want me to not have that in my fucking lexicon? Deep in my brainstem? No, I need that. I need that. I need to watch at least 14 to 15 Jeff Teague NBA podcast TikTok shorts every morning with my Cheerios. That's what I have to fucking have, okay?
Embarrassing. Not embarrassed? Next time you get sucked into your phone, tell the next person you see everything you were up to for a full hour of screen time. Okay, so my friend sent me this Instagram reel of a screenshot of a tweet about Drake playing Fortnite with Ninja in 2018. And then I just sort of kept scrolling through reels for an hour, but I don't remember any of them. Like a lot of people my age, my smartphone has attached itself to nearly every aspect of my daily life. And it's really starting to make me feel like it's having a negative effect on me. But most people like me that daydream about getting rid of their phone just can't. Their job requires it. They have kids. They have to keep up with their Balatro addiction.
True.
But I don't have a real job. I don't have kids. I deleted Balatro because I played it on the toilet too much.
Damn, are you guys phone Balatroers? I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine being a phone Balatroer. No fucking way, dude. No, I'm main screen PC Balatro. Okay? I have an NVIDIA fucking 5090 cooking to make sure I get the Balatro experience that I deserve. You're gonna fucking play that on your phone? You can't even see shit. It's the perfect phone game? No. The perfect phone game was Fruit Ninja. They peaked at the beginning. It's been all downhill ever since. That was a game that required you to swipe on a phone. That was a game that understood the different mechanics of the phone versus everything else. Now we're just porting things that are better on PC or the Switch and putting it on a phone cramped. He was too embarrassed to say TFT. TFT is actually Satan's phone game. Because all it does is waste my time, and you can't win if you're playing on the phone because it's fucking hard and laggy and you can't get the fucking item off the carousel. So you just lose and you're mad. Okay? TFT is actually a terrible phone game.
Much. And then it hit me. I could be a lab rat, but in an experiment about getting rid of my phone. In 2025, what does it look like for someone in their late 20s living in a major city to completely get rid of their cell phone? Well, I'm going to find that out because over the next month, I will be locking my phone in this safe and I will not be opening it. So, without further ado, let's find out together.
What if he instantly died? That would be a pretty bad sign. That would like actually maybe flip the argument on phone addiction. People who are pro phone would have a lot of weight in their corner. If he instantly died and then 46 minutes of him laying on the floor.
I actually didn't do any prep for what I'm going to replace my phone with. Okay, actually, we need to do this tomorrow. So. Now it's beeping. Now, obviously, a phone these days is a lot more than just a phone. But everyone in this day and age needs a telephone. Many people who ditch their smartphone these days go with an old flip phone, now referred to as a dumb phone. But I got a flip phone to keep in contact with my parents when I was out riding bikes at 12 years old. So for the majority of my life, I've had a device in my pocket that makes me reachable at all times. I want to experience what life was like before the cell phone. So I went even older and began looking into getting a landline. Luckily, this was pretty simple. Some major phone companies, for some reason, still offer a landline service. But what landline should I choose? There were so many decades and styles to choose from. I could go wireless. I could go with an old rotary. I could keep it to the classics, like Sleeping Goofy, M&M's Hanging Out, or Pooh. After weighing all of my options, I finally decided on a mix of everything. A corded landline that still had an answering machine and caller ID. Oh, a landline with an answering machine is not old school enough for you? That's too much new tech? Well, my ass got a Rolodex to pair with it. Now, if you're somebody whose knees still don't hurt, a Rolodex is basically your contact app, but on this fun little spinny wheel. So I spent an hour of my day just sitting down and copying my contacts from my iPhone onto different Rolodex cards to make sure that I had the number of everyone I needed to call over the next month.
That's so stupid. You can put it in an Excel document, on your laptop.
But I don't want to just call everyone. I want everyone to call me. I want to be popular. Whoa. So I posted my landline number on my close friend's Instagram story to inform people in my life that I wouldn't have my phone. But not everyone in my life is on my close friend's Instagram. Some don't have Instagram at all, and some are finding out just now that they're not on my close friends list. So I began texting people in my life the information as well. Other than a telephone, I use my phone as a tool for many.
He's using more technology to set up his non-technology month than I would normally use.
Many aspects of my life. I began replacing as much as I could think of with alternatives. I filled out a physical calendar. I got notebooks and pens to replace my notepad app. Grabbed a film camera to take photos with. Every morning, I set an alarm, so I replaced it with an old-fashioned alarm clock.
Okay. That's so annoying. Does he work at the factory?
Oh, man, that's gonna piss me off. Why didn't I get a digital alarm clock? I'm getting rid of my phone, not becoming Ebenezer Scrooge. Also, just in case of any major text that I may miss, I hooked up my iMessage to an old laptop Chrissy had, but being able to check texts all the time felt like cheating. So I bought this chess clock and decided I would only be able to clock in 5 total minutes checking text the entire month. Wait, this thing takes C batteries? Okay, I'm not gonna use the laptop until I can get some C batteries then. There was so much to replace, but there's one I chose not to. I use my Apple Watch daily for fitness statistics. But honestly, I don't really need it to exercise. I just have to find the willpower to hit my goals without closing these colorful rings. When I got the watch, it felt like a super useful upgrade to my life, but I quickly realized that my phone was now on my wrist at all times.
Yeah, of
Sometimes
course.
even sending ads for Yelp or Postmates to my own arm. So I don't know how much I'll miss this thing. Except for
Okay.
Snoopy. I will miss you, Snoopy. I'm sorry I'm putting you in a box. Lastly, I replaced the iPhone's video camera with a Sony camcorder. Looking at all the items that would replace my phone sprawled out on the floor, I decided I was prepared enough to begin.
Okay. Lock it up.
It was mid-afternoon by the time I started, so I decided to check if I had any calls or messages on my landline. I had posted and sent the number to almost everyone I know, so I was sure there was a ton of missed calls and voicemails to listen to.
Wednesday, 1:04 p.m.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom. I'm just calling to see if your phone works. You don't have to call me back. I'll talk to
Sweet.
you later. Bye.
End of messages.
Within a few minutes, I came across the first minor hurdle of not having a smartphone on me. After checking my email on my computer, I saw that there was a package down in my mailroom. Now usually, to unlock the mailroom lockers, I open an email on my phone and scan a barcode. But luckily, they also provide a numeric code to put into a keypad. So I grabbed a notepad and I wrote the code down. We're not talking about the notepad app here.
I get it.
I mean, I put a pen to paper, like a soldier in World War II, sending a letter
that
home to
crazy.
his girlfriend, who has now taken his spot on a Major League Baseball team.
It's not that
Or
crazy.
I think that's what it was like. Honestly, the only war movie I've seen is A League of Their Own. Hello, Eddie from the future here. This is absolutely the last thing that I'm editing, and I have not seen this footage until now. So on the first day, I walked out of the apartment, Chrissy changed the code to the safe, wrote it down, left for her apartment, and I asked her to hide it in a place I'd never check. And apparently she put it in a case of Black Ops 2.
Holy shit,
But under
appropriate.
a disc of Jingle All the Way 2. I don't even know where she got this movie. I don't even know why she has Black Ops. For over a decade,
If that's at my place, that's coming out instantly. Okay, not only do I want to pull out Black Ops and check on it, but I'm going to want to watch Jingle All the Way too the second I see that DVD. Okay, you can't hide it there.
my iPhone has been an extension of my body, an extra limb that connects me to the world of the internet. So the first few hours with that limb severed had me feeling its phantom in my pocket. I decided to start keeping a tally in a notepad every time I felt compelled to reach for or check it. And within those first few hours, I realized something. I was bored. Truly bored. It was rainy in LA. I had finished working for the day and didn't have everything ever made and everyone I've ever
Bro,
known at my
this is
disposal.
crazy. Because you can definitely still play a game. You can get on your fucking laptop. Are you playing laptops? If you're on your laptop, it's basically a big phone nowadays. You can watch TV. You can watch sports. The boring part. I mean, I understand that people are sitting on the couch and double scrolling phone while the TV's on to truly prevent their brain from having a thought. I understand that. I understand this is a real thing and it happens and people are doing it. Some people are doing it right now. Okay? But I also know that like the real time that the phone is hijacking my attention or that I am unable to be bored is like any of the in-between spaces. Anytime I'm traveling from place to place, if you're on the fucking plane or a bus or you're in an Uber or you're fucking on the toilet or you're on that's when they have total domination. I think at home people are still laptoping or fucking TVing or gaming or
To fill the void. It hit me that the other times where my phone has died or moments where I've intentionally put it away, my phone has not allowed me a true sense of boredom for the majority of my adult life. And the rest of the first day was really nice. I enjoyed the silence. We ended the night watching the movie Flow, which I absolutely loved, highly recommend. And while I never check my phone during a movie, not getting a vibration or needing to put it on Do Not Disturb felt great. And since I can use my computer, I decided to still log it on Letterboxd. But when I walked away from it for bed, that was it. No more internet for the night. Why did I put it so high up? The next day was an adjustment getting used to the silence, but I was already seeing benefits. Turns out it's easier to get up out of bed and go to the grocery store when you don't.
This is fucking true. This is straight up true. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear, but it's fucking true. It's easier to fall asleep and it's easier to wake up. It's so deeply true. Everyone knows it, but most people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it because it's too painful. It's too painful. The idea that you should not have your phone in your bed at night when you're going to bed, and then there when you wake up, it's too painful.
Don't waste your first 30 minutes scrolling through Twitter. Or if you're experiencing one of your lowest lows, Reddit. Ooh, shivers down my spine just thinking about it. Oh, by the way, last night Chrissy and I had pasta, sausage, and Trader Joe's cheesy creamy greens and veggies.
I can't fall asleep without YouTube though. That's what Ari will say about like, she'll play like Slay the Spire on her phone, or she'll fucking. The truth is, you just have trained your brain not to. You absolutely can, dude. You're not the one person biologically who can't fall asleep without YouTube. You've just trained your brain to have YouTube. And by the way, you're still falling asleep later and with worse quality sleep.
So if anyone wants these leftovers, they are 1 month old at the time of posting, and I will not give you my address. So let me know if you're interested. I also got the C batteries for the chest clock, so now I have a working chest clock and 8 C batteries that will sit in my drawer forever. Later that week, a few friends and I had planned to see Mickey 17. Last week, I offered to organize getting the tickets myself, forgetting that my phone would be locked in a box. Normally, as an AMC A-list member, I reserve the ticket on the app, show up, present my QR code to the greeter to be scanned, and suddenly I'm in. Now, obviously, I know that a cell phone is not the only way you can get into a movie theater. I worked at an AMC when I was 19. If you were at the AMC streets of Woodfield in 2016, there's a solid chance your ticket stub was ripped by me. But I wasn't sure what the process was anymore. Part of my job used to be selling tickets, but due to online and mobile sales, that job seems to have been phased out after quarantine. So I went to the AMC website, saved my ticket QR code, and sent an email of it to Staples so I could print it with a code at one of their printers. I then wrote down the Staples code along with my ticket confirmation as a backup. Is this overkill?
So
Probably. But if for some reason
So
I couldn't prove
stupid.
my purchase,
You have a computer. You could just email it to one of the many friends that are going. This is
I'd be
stupid.
ruining the whole night for my friends. So I headed over to Staples, and after inputting the code from my notepad,
I don't have a printer either. I mean, I would need to. There
look
we go.
at him,
That's awesome.
my beautiful boy, my pride and joy.
I mean,
Be
that
honest,
is
if your
good
job
for the
was scanning
video.
QR codes, would you trust one sitting on a blank page like this? During our drinks before, I was beaming with excitement to use my QR. Look at how proud I am of it, but I had no idea what was waiting for me in the theater. Now, fortunately for me, and unfortunately for labor everywhere, the AMC ticket sales employees have been replaced by kiosks. So I headed there to scan my QR code instead of the greeter because I got nervous.
Did you guys see?
Disaster 1. I froze the machine.
Broke
I was
it?
confused. I clicked the keypad and I think I broke it, so I think I'll have to.
Luckily, there was an open machine next to me,
Okay.
so I made a quick recovery only for Disaster 2. My QR code was printed so inconveniently that it wouldn't fit in the scanner. I desperately folded the paper as my friends waited on me for their tickets. And it just wouldn't scan.
Hello.
Just cut to home. Yeah, we missed the movie.
Come on.
My
Clutch it
baby
up.
boy was a disappointment. But you could just use the credit card you bought the tickets with. So I didn't need to do any of this. Didn't need a phone and could have just shown up with my credit card. Okay, so there are minor inconveniences like writing things down or bringing my credit card. But I wanted to know what it was like to traverse a city without my phone. But
Okay.
first, a quick word from the sponsor of this
wait.
video. I'm stuck in a fly trap. I fell for the damn light bulb again. I want to thank SoFi for sponsoring the next portion of this video. I've talked about
Check it out, SoFi. You can get a loan.
fast tracking
Or
retirement. Yeah, they're giving away money that you could use for this
consolidate
list of
loans.
things. Or whatever you want. It would be your money if you won. I do not care. Sign up for SoFi Plus to be entered for a chance to win,
Like the
and for every
stadium.
friend you refer, you earn an additional entry. Head to SoFi.com/Eddie, scan the QR code
I
up.
mean, I will say, I would agree that directions are the number one thing you need a phone for. Obviously, there's many things, and we're all addicted to our phones, but like the most annoying thing to lose would be directions. Because it's like so incredibly convenient to have a geolocated device with a 3D digital map in your pocket of wherever you are, wherever you need to go that can route at all times. I mean, Google Maps is one of the greatest inventions in human history. It's incredible. With live traffic data, it's incredible. Thank you
Help
for
me.
the gifties.
I need to do this myself. This morning, I woke up to a massive dropping of bird shit on my bathroom window, which is gross. But hey, without the phone, it's something new to look at while I'm on the toilet, I guess. It's no secret why someone in this day and age may begin to resent their phone. But one of my main motivators to give this a try may surprise you. A few months ago, Chrissy and I binged through all of Sex and the City. We watched through every season, movie, and even the new series on HBO. I mean HBO Max. Max. Fuck, sorry. Now, other than having a blast with the girls and being a big hater to my core, there was one aspect of the show that I just couldn't shake.
Well, laugh. It's a joke.
No, not that. Sorry.
Get it while it's hot.
Not that either. Man, I gotta text my editor. But I don't have a cell phone. And my editor's me, so he doesn't have a cell phone
He
either.
edits his own
Can be tough.
videos?
The show
That's
starts with
impressive.
Carrie in her early 30s. But even though I'm a young 28, not even fucking close to 30, the era of life that Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte are in is pretty similar to mine. The one glaring difference, other than being in LA instead of New York, is their lifestyles without smartphones and social media impacting it. Of course, this isn't a staple of the show, but the times the show belonged to. The new series has to adapt to our new world just like we do. Carrie is a podcaster. She tweets. Everyone uses their smartphones. But even though I was always aware that times had changed, it didn't feel so drastic until I watched the original show. No dating apps, no creating a second version of yourself online for the world to perceive. On a night in, Carrie writes, Miranda watches TV, Charlotte reads either the Old Testament or the New Testament, depending on what season you watch, and Samantha gets laid. They don't pull out a little computer that shows them what everyone they've ever met is up to at that exact moment. Charlotte doesn't do the dishes with her AirPods in, catching up on the Twitter drama between the richest man in the world and Hassan Piker. Samantha doesn't watch the Costco guys on Fortnite Friday.
They're missing out
Something that
then.
we really like a lot. That's 5 big
They're
balloons.
missing out.
Something we're not that crazy about could go down to 1 and then anywhere in between.
What?
And they also call each other for plans. They don't use a GPS. They agree on a time to meet somewhere, and then they just like hope
Yeah, this is
that
the
it all
craziest
works
thing to
out.
me.
And that's what struck me most of all. It was the intentionality in making plans and navigating a
Where was I just at? I was just somewhere with Ari and a group. Why am I blanking? Ren Fair. I was at the Ren Fair. And fucking boomer moment. Holy shit, dementia. I was at the Ren Fair, and, you know, despite it not being Ren Fair appropriate, we had to use our phones to find each other at the same Ren Fair multiple times. Because people wander off to go look at things or get a turkey leg or whatever, and you don't know where the fuck they are. How did anyone do this before? How did anyone keep track of a group? There's so many people there. That was crazy. Time and place?
City. If you're older
Alright,
watching this, feel free to roll your eyes, because this was what the world was like until very recently. But because I'm such a young, fresh 28-year-old, I have never in my life made adult plans without the convenience of a smartphone. If I want to drive or Uber somewhere, I don't really need to know where to go because the GPS will handle it. If I want to take public transit, my phone will give me live details on what to do. If I'm running late, I can text and update the person. I have Google at my fingertips to answer any question that I could ever think of. So what do I actually do when I make plans? I might as well get to a dinner and have the waiter cut my spaghetti for me. There was just something about the way that the girls went through life that just felt more grown up to me. I couldn't help but wonder, has my phone kept me from becoming a fully capable adult? Ready for my carry night out, I needed to call one of the girls. Looking to have fun cocktails and a yap sesh, I knew just who to call. My friend Jordan. I planned on taking the bus because even though I could Uber there from my desktop, I'd need to cheat and ask Jordan to call my Uber home on the way back. But to take the bus, my two options were change, as in coins, which I do not have because I'm not an 1800s prospector ordering a whiskey at a saloon, or the public transit app on my phone. Oh, my phone! Shit! I don't know if you guys know this, but I locked my phone away. After a quick search, I saw that you can get a physical tap card in LA at most pharmacies and grocery stores. So I walked over to CVS and couldn't find a tap card anywhere. I asked the manager if they sold tap cards, and he said, "We should, but I'm not sure that we do." After confirming that they didn't, he was so helpful and told me you could get them at the train station. I thanked him and said I needed it for the bus. And he goes, "Oh, you could just get the app on your phone." My dumb ass goes, "Right, thank you. I'm doing this thing where I don't have my phone, but thank you." What the fuck was that supposed to mean to him? Anyway, I went over to Ralph's and yet again, no card. Until I asked an employee and she walked me over to their work desk, busted out a dusty fanny pack from a bottom drawer and got me a card. The whole process seemed like there hadn't been a physical tap card purchase in years. This whole ordeal gave me just enough time to get ready and call Jordan to let him know what time to meet. Awesome. All right, well then, hopefully nothing goes wrong. If it gets to be like, too late, just give up on me, I'll go home. Okay, that's true. You're the perfect person for me to fuck this up with. All right, I'll see you there. Next, I headed over to my computer, went to Google Maps, clicked on the transit direction to get to the bar, and wrote down the specific bus routes I'd need to get there. My bus was leaving very soon, so I had to rush out the door. Now, depending on where you are, who you are, and what age you are, I am not recommending that you also travel alone without your phone at night. Smartphones have offered a lot of safety to people who are by themselves, so just know that I wanted to do this, and unfortunately, it's a bit safer for me than for some of you. Look, it's no surprise from my personality, my writing, and my general vibe that I am an overthinker. So on my way to the bus, anxious thoughts were flying by. What if I miss my stop? What if the bus doesn't come on time? What if I get lost and leave Jordan waiting? What if the bus explodes?
Could happen.
And normally, I can quell these thoughts by getting confirmation on my phone. But shockingly, without the option to confirm, I was forced to face
It's just funny because the bus is probably the single greatest spot for a phone in human history. There's no better time to have a phone. There's never when the phone is more appropriate. If we could just isolate phones to the bus, it would be a good thing. Bring a book? Sure, you could bring a book, but there's nothing wrong with having a phone on the bus, bro.
These thoughts head on. And you know what? It was super fucking easy to ride the bus without my phone. They say the goddamn street names out loud. Why was I worried?
Thanks, man. Thanks. Have a good one.
I got off the first bus, crossed the street to the next stop, and waited for the second. No checking Twitter, just raw dog, no headphones at the bus stop. Hopping on the next, I rode the bus toward drinks. At one point, I wanted to make sure I was headed in the right direction, so I asked a stranger, and he was super nice and helpful. And before he got off the bus, he nodded and fist bumped me. Not quite as good as nervously Googling and having Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny little
You said wrong answer? This is not the wrong answer. This is the correct answer. Okay?
Having Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny little speck in the rear view of the Echo Park Pico Union line, I turned to walk toward drinks. I finally made it there, and lo and behold, agreeing to meet at a place without 5 text updates still works just fine. Jordan and I had a great time, yapping our hearts out. 2 young philosophers in a heated debate, going toe-to-toe in the marketplace of ideas. I, of course, was on the right side of whatever we talked about, and Jordan was in the wrong. But his British accent kept giving his words an authority that made me insecure and angry. Also, we did need to use Jordan's phone to get my bus route back, because I did forget to look it up. Is someone telling me a bus route with their phone cheating? I didn't use my phone, but I sort of used someone else's? I don't know. A few hours and 1 too many cocktails later, Jordan walked me to my bus stop like a true gentleman. It came earlier than expected, and without my knowledge, Jordan captured my dorky ass scurrying to the door. On the ride home, it was really starting to hit me just how normal most aspects of my life felt without a phone. Sure, it was a bit inconvenient, sometimes a little bit dangerous. But is the harm that screen time and algorithms inflict on my brain really worth the convenience it brings? Well, I'll be honest, I've had 1 too many cocktails to find an answer to that. I also was on Metro TV. You guys ever watch Metro TV? It's a show about you taking the bus. You see me there? Look closer. There I am. Every time I've mentioned to a friend that I was getting rid of my phone, one of the first things they'd say would be, "Oh, are you gonna start reading?" First, yeah. Second, I was reading. Okay, not books, maybe. Does it count as reading if I read a tweet from Discussing Film that told
it
me
does.
young Sheldon is returning to do a sweepstakes competition for the live-action
Yes,
Minecraft movie?
It does.
Mazes, puzzles,
It
panic
also
attack.
counts if you read your chat and you're a streamer. That counts as reading. And if you are in chat and you read your own message saying Poggies, Lamau, Glizzy, 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 that's also reading. Your literacy rate is improving.
You're in charge. Whooping monster butt. That's my purview.
Plus $500 daily cash prizes.
Whoa. Oh my.
Watch Young Sheldon weeknights for the word of the day. Text it to 55225 or dig into youngsheldon.com.
Biggie.
A
Why don't
Minecraft
you show the
movie
whole
in
thing?
theaters April 4th.
I used to read quite a bit,
Chicken
but as my
jockey!
phone addiction has developed, most of the time when I could pick up a book, light a candle, and relax in a chair, I instead choose to burn disturbing world news into my retinas while I sit hunched over my table, or hunched over on my toilet, or hunched over on a bench. But after days of phone detox, I wanted to see how well my attention span fared toward uninterrupted reading. About a year ago, I was at a bookstore with my friend Ian when he mentioned he had recently read the novel Flowers for Algernon. I bought it that day, planning to read it so we could discuss and have a connection over it. And then, it sat collecting dust next to my Wii U for 11 months. Didn't get all the dust, maybe one more blow. Damn, that shit is baked on there. So I lit a candle, got cozy, and began reading. And you know what? It was way easier to focus. I got sucked into the book, and before I broke any concentration, I'd read over 100 pages. Now I had plans that night, so I needed to rush out of the house, but I didn't have a damn bookmark.
It's a sad book.
Oh, perfect. Finally a use for my QR. Later that night, I came back and read another 100 pages. Now, of course, people read a lot with their phones all the time. But for me, that vibration of a text or social media notification or an ad from Uber Eats or Postmates feels like somebody knocking at my window, trying to distract me and get me to stop reading. Over the next 10 days, I started to go about my everyday life pretty naturally without any major issues. I could go for walks by myself or with my brother and give 100% of my attention. I did my chores in my free time without my AirPods.
I've never used a bookmark consistently. What I do is I look at the page number and I try to think of some way of remembering it. So if it's like 263, I'll be like 263 260 me. I'll think of some stupid rhyme. You know, I'll just think of something stupid and then I'll close the book. And then when I open it again, I'll try to think of my fun little phrase. And almost certainly I never do. Almost certainly I don't remember it. And I have to fucking find my way around. But that's happened to me for many, many years.
Sometimes in silence or with a vinyl, maybe a podcast on my PS5 on occasion, but I didn't crave it. I was working on a video for the other channel I run with my brother, and I found myself procrastinating less, enjoying work more. Everything just started to feel normal. It's not like I shut out all of the internet either. I still followed the news and checked social media on occasion, but it didn't follow me in my pocket when I stepped away. The swirling mass in the back of my brain that the internet seems to occupy had completely severed, and I didn't miss it. I was embarrassed at the thought of how often in the past I would check my phone, especially when I wasn't really waiting on anything. Times where I felt anxious in public, when I wanted to fill the silence, and the worst of all, involuntarily checking. I was becoming a normie, and I liked it. I read books more. I sat in silence. I enjoyed the eclipse and didn't text it to anyone. I spent an hour on a rainy night just watching the rain fall, enjoying the sounds of drops hitting the pavement. I mean, what the hell? What's wrong with me? The next morning, I thought, surely the rain washed away the bird shit, right? Huh, guess not. Okay, well, maybe it'll go away on its own.
I mean, there's something more normie than checking your phone.
I'll get
Everyone
to it
does
later,
it.
or maybe it'll go away.
Navigating
Navigating the world without the help of a cell phone made it seem
uniquely-
smaller, less intimidating. I found myself asking strangers for help a little more and was less anxious when they spoke to me. There was only one time where I checked my texts on the MacBook, and after that I decided I didn't even need it. Man, I bought those C batteries for nothing. After just a half of a month without my iPhone, I started to have the thought, uh-oh, I don't know if I want this thing back in my life anymore. And moving into the next week, I continued to feel the same way. I didn't want the experiment to end after 30 days and was looking for some advice when I realized I knew just who to ask. I wasn't the only person who had tried out different lifestyles for a video. So I decided I would try to get some answers from an expert.
Zach from the Try Guys. Hey, hold this. Zach, I have a question.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Have you ever tried something for a video that you liked so much that you wanted to keep trying it after the video was done?
What are you doing in my house?
Just answer the question, man.
Pottery was cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, lock the door.
About halfway through the month, I had mostly adapted to life without the phone, but I wondered how other people would adapt to me. I had sort of assumed when it came to others, the landline would be a fun novelty. People would give me a call or two within the first week, and then just wait for me to get my phone back so we could go back to normal.
Does anyone here still leave phone messages? I don't think I let the phone message in forever. If they don't answer the phone, I just hang up. I've never answering machined. Because you can just text. I've never seen the purpose of a phone message.
But to my surprise, that hasn't been the case at all.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom.
Hey, Eddie. It's Jarvis. What a wonderful voicemail you got there. It's time to walk. Call me back.
Eddie, we're on our way. You better get ready. We're on our way.
Yay.
Yay.
You
Yay. Woo. All right, bye.
Hey, Eddie. How you doing? Big dog. Hey, this is Zach. Mr. Burback. Need to reach you. I hope it's going well. I hope you haven't gotten lost because of lack of Google Maps. Hey, Eddie. This is your friend Ash.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was given this number for. If I have an incorrect number, please let me know.
Happy Thursday. Talk to you soon. We were trying to reach you to do that dinner that we talked about.
A big part of why I kept my phone clutched to my chest for years was because I felt like I needed to be on call for people I know 24/7. I had feared that this experiment would annoy people, that it would make me more work. But it turns out everyone I asked said it was a breath of fresh air. They liked calling, they liked leaving messages and not having to worry about texting back. And I like coming home to voicemails. I like picking up and hanging up the phone. When I say bye, I get to end the call with emotion and a physical feeling. Instead of the new reality I've gotten used to where you say goodbye, there's an awkward pause, and then the 1 hour and 30-minute takedown on the Beast games you were watching begins to play again. Personally, with a smartphone, I am way more likely to accidentally leave a text unanswered, to cancel or delay plans when I'm not feeling up to it. With the landline, though, I have to talk to people. When I'm feeling like I don't want to leave the house, hearing the voice of a friend excited to hang out washes that away, while a text about plans feels like work to me. I'm realizing that there are a bunch of small antisocial behaviors that I believed were becoming part of my personality, but is more so my relationship with a computer in my pocket that I'm addicted to. However, the landline isn't all fun calls from friends and family. There is an aspect to it that has been driving me fucking crazy
calls?
over the last 2 weeks. Spam calls. Spam calls and scammers are hitting my line more than anyone else. During business hours of the week, these assholes are calling me sometimes 30 to 40 times a day. But when the landline is your gateway to the outside world
That's
and
fucked
social
up.
life, you have to get up and check who's calling when it's ringing. So hundreds of times over the last 2 weeks, I've jogged over to my landline just to see that it's spam.
Yeah, this is Eddie. How are you? Doing good?
Sorry, was your name Eddie or my name?
My name is Eddie.
My name's Eddie as well.
No, your name is not Eddie.
It's not? I get a call again, and it's more spam.
You're paying high rates on your electricity bill, and
so
what we
annoying.
are doing is showing people a free, no-obligation consultation and demonstration with our solar program.
Yeah, I assume like
Devastating.
scammers are more likely to target a landline because it's most likely to be an old person who's like easily swindled, right?
Consequences for you.
This call is regarding your Medicare, as you already have Medicare Parts A and B both.
So why you're lying to me? Your name is Eddie.
Our records show you may owe over $10,000 in unpaid tax debt.
This could result in liens on your property.
Possibility for a hardship elimination.
Message deleted. Message deleted.
Member from Healthcare Benefits, how are you?
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Message deleted. End of messages.
So yes, other than the spam calls, this has so far been a mostly peaceful growth experience for me. Getting rid of my phone has been the best thing I've done all year, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about all the little ways that not having a phone has pissed me off.
Okay.
1, I can't use certain apps that require a mobile phone number. I got invited to a party and had to find out about it through someone else because I can't log into my Partiful. Partyful is the main way a lot of people I know send invites to parties now. And when you're throwing a party and someone ignores an invite, you're not going to call them and ask them if they got it. Of course they got it. They have a smartphone. So if I know you and I missed your birthday, blame it on the safe, not me. 2, there are a few useful tools on the iPhone that don't involve the internet, like
Oh, good.
tool belts.
Some of you are similar to me. I've never fucking been invited to a party. Maybe one Partiful in my life. Maybe I was like, damn, I guess I just don't know what the kids are doing nowadays. I'm not getting a lot of Partiful invites. That's crazy. That's some LA shit. I mean, I'm in LA. I feel like I go to events decently enough. I hang out with people, but I don't got no Partiful. I think Partiful's like, you got to be hip. You got to be wanting to get, I don't know,
type tools. Yesterday, I was hanging frames on my wall and I couldn't use the level on my phone. Last week, the power went out and I realized just how much I had gotten used to having a flashlight on me at all times. 3, I miss having a camera on me always. I love recording a little video of a squirrel or grabbing a funny photo to text someone. I've had to make peace with the fact that sometimes I've just got to enjoy a sunset instead of snapping it and sharing. On one hand, sure, it gives me a nice moment to take in and appreciate what's in front of me. But on the other hand, I can't use it as a moment to connect with someone, so it's 50-50. 4, some friends are texters, some are callers. Friends that are texters have not really called my landline. They may have died. 5, weather app. No weather app unless check computer. Don't know how hot it is. 6, I'm using my computer way more often for sure. Sometimes I'll still waste time on it like I do my phone, but it feels much more manageable when I can walk away. And lastly, 7, I'm hearing, hold up. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone ringing. Everyone knows about the phantom vibration you occasionally feel in your pocket when your phone is sitting there.
Yeah.
That has disappeared for me. But I am now hearing phantom ringing in songs, in movies. Any similar tone has me perking my little ears up to check. But how does that all stack against crippling anxiety from social media and ruining my attention span? Well, like I said, I didn't have a level on me, so... One of the things I've enjoyed over the last few months is keeping up with current TV, mainly White Lotus, Severance, and a little bit of Formula One for all my Max Verstappen heads out there. And that part of my life was mostly unchanged, except I heard discourse about the shows through my friends' opinions and what they'd seen online. TV shows, politics, internet drama, basically everything that I'm algorithmically served are constantly placing people online into in-groups and out-groups. Like, if you disagree about a White Lotus episode in person, you're just hearing another perspective. But when a group of people have a different opinion on Twitter, it feels like large swaths of strangers are not like you over a micro diversion of an opinion about a show from Ned Schneebly.
Shut up! Shut up! You both just cut it out for 1 second.
Even though I was aware of this, time in the real world and away from my phone had me connecting with people in a much more positive light. Again, still paying attention to the news, so not saying everything's fine. Far from it. But not getting mad at invisible strangers and bots 1,000 times a day had me feeling a way
Makes
I
you
didn't in
tougher.
a long time. And during my final week, Chrissy was out of town cat sitting, which made me pretty unsure of how my final days alone would go. More recently, when I find myself alone in my apartment for an extended period of time, I've been increasingly frustrated with how much I use my phone, especially before bed. Sometimes internally screaming that I should put it down, but scrolling through TikTok for some reason. What's it gonna give me? But during this week, I got to do so much more regular chilling. Without my screen time, I watched more movies, read more books, exercise, cleaned, all shit that I normally do, but none of it was rushed because after work, I didn't waste a bunch of time on my phone. Also, speaking of chillin', I watched YouTube only on the TV for the last month and it ruled. Shout out to everyone who watches YouTube on the
People do
TV.
that a lot
I am
now,
thinking
right?
of you when I'm making videos. I appreciate you. If you're watching on something else, that's fine too. Also, shout out to laptop on a bed or laptop on a table. I can't hate on you for that. So I think it's safe to say that my attention span has been completely rewired over the month. But without the magic of texting, I was communicating with people way less. It was quiet by myself, and I couldn't mask it with a podcast or music to keep me company 24/7. So I needed to get out of the apartment.
Friday, 2:45 p.m.
Hey, little man. It's Katie. I'm calling to let you know that we're going bowling at 9 p.m. Be there. See you then, big dog.
This time when I took the bus, I did write down my directions just in case, but I've been retaining information for a full month without relying on my phone, so I just didn't look. I know where I'm going. And after arriving at the bowling alley, it was time to bowl.
And yes, please.
Yeah, okay, just press the thing.
What followed was the greatest bowling I've ever seen. Strike after strike,
Getting
nobody
rid of your
could be
phone will not
stopped.
make you a better bowler.
They almost kicked us out because they thought we were like cheating or something. Something about magnets. But we were using the balls that were there. Honestly, I'm like freaked out with how good we did. That's got to be connected to my not having my phone or something in some way, right? I don't know.
It's Connor. He
But after
eats
some
pants.
pro level bowling, we decided to get some food.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing okay. You're dancing. Yeah, keep going.
Whoa.
Can you do it again? I don't think he had it recorded.
Yeah, can you do more? That's just like not enough.
Like backflip? Yeah. Backflip. No.
Suddenly, after some delicious food and a lot of drinks, it was 2 a.m. Everyone was nice enough to see me off at the bus stop, but I told them I was fine waiting alone. Then it was just me and Los Angeles at 2 in the morning.
Seems like a fun night, yeah? I think it'd be better with a phone, though.
With only one day left, I decided it was time to dust off an old aspect of my childhood and put it to the test as an adult.
Frozen?
When I was a kid, I saw the takeover of portable GPSs for driving. At first, they were purchasable on their own, then a feature on my rich friend's dad's car. What? You thought he was the breadwinner? Well, it was actually my friend's mom who bought the car. Sounds like it's time to look inward about what we assume, I think. But before the GPS eventually arrived in every pocket in America,
as you're going, we'll be monitoring the traffic. We'll give you your ETA.
Yeah, I mean, that's
if
so sick.
the traffic slows down in front of you, we'll update your ETA.
That's so sick.
And then we'll start looking to reroute you
It's so
around it to
incredible.
find a faster
That's
route.
that's
If we do,
incredible.
we'll offer it to you.
there was a website that would plan your route to print so you could take it with you on your drive. That website was MapQuest.com. Tony and I were going to follow MapQuest to Huntington Gardens and enjoy my final day of silence while the flowers were in bloom. So I routed our trip, sent my PDF to Staples, walked over, and man, I really should have fucking bought a printer for this.
You ready?
Hold on.
You good?
Yeah. Oh, you can't use your. We're doing MapQuest.
How does it work in LA? Does
What do
you
you
not
mean?
to drive the traffic so
But you
bad?
just can't use it. I'm doing like a no phone thing.
But I want to listen to
Will you
music.
just fucking enjoy my company for once? The sound of my voice?
Sorry.
So just like traveling by bus, reading, prolonged silence, going to the movies, and taking landline calls, using MapQuest is way easier and less daunting than I thought. Dude, you just pay attention to the street signs and use your brain like 2% more.
Bullshit.
We messed up a little bit. So we were on Temple Street and we were supposed to get on Silver Lake Boulevard. Now it said a slight right, and here's the sign. It clearly says that if you go straight, you're on Silver Lake Boulevard. You take a left, you're on Temple Street. But we were kind of talking, and there was a further left, so we were like, that one looks like it's straight enough. So we went left on Temple, but we eventually found Glendale. So we thought we had the directions correct until it said to take a slight right on Fletcher, 0.3 miles from the turn.
Yeah, that's why
and
a
0.3
fucking
miles from the turn
digital
was
map
Echo
is so
Park Lake.
perfect 'cause it
and
shows
last
you
I checked,
exactly-
the ramp for the 2 is not submerged in Echo Park Lake. Now, if you drive in Los Angeles, you might be thinking, how'd you fuck that one up? This is like a very famous and commonly known spot for LA driving. Well, Tony and I were deep in discussion about the fact that in our Spy Kids video, we accidentally called Fooglies Flugel. So you can see now that it was pretty important.
That's two
but even then,
fuck-ups. I'm
it was
seeing two
fine.
fuck-ups.
There's street signs
The
for the
MapQuest
freeway,
take
so we just
and the
kept
Fugels
driving
take.
until we saw a sign for the 2. After that, it was smooth sailing. Overall, our mistake made us like 10 minutes late. You know, there have been a set of questions that I get from people asking about this whole thing that are mostly the same. How are you going to get around? What do you do if you miss a text? What if you get lost? But those questions also come with a set of similar statements. Oh, I bet you'll feel so much better. You'll have so much more time on your hands. I'm so jealous. And that's because, at the start of this, I, along with you, probably knew where this would go to a degree. I'm not exposing a problem here that was hidden in the shadows. We all know it. We feel it every day. But those questions that kept me from doing it before didn't turn out to be that daunting. Sure, occasionally I did have to rely on someone else's phone for information or a text, but other than that, my life felt so normal. I think we're living in a time where our minds and our attention are such a currency, we need to start working out our brains like a muscle. And yes, that can be writing, reading, navigating, but I think you also need to build your own silence, your own peace. And that peace hurts the money of things keeping you on your phone. So the day will not come where Elon decides you need a break from Twitter for your mental health. There will not be a moment where people stop capitalizing on your anger, joy, sadness for their own profit. It's up to you to rip yourself back into reality as much as you can and take back what is rightfully yours. You. As for me, it was almost time to unlock the safe. I watched the countdown clock creep closer to 0, but instead of relief or confidence, I found myself filled with the same desperation for a solution that made me do this whole thing in the first place. What will my relationship with my phone be like after this? Will I lock it up every once in a while? Will I delete most of the apps and just use my computer when I need it? Will I lose everything I learned here and be stuck scrolling before bed again? After spending a portion of my youth in a cloud of buzzing noise, I had hoped to step outside of it, to turn around and be shocked at how much it had crept into every corridor of my brain. And that is exactly what happened. But I know that beyond a month-long experiment, it's unrealistic to go back to a world without the phone entirely. The thing is, I've known for years that the way I was beginning to use it was not good for me. I kept telling myself that I'd make a change, and until now, I never truly committed to that. So while I have no idea what my relationship to this thing will be in the future, I do know that it will not be the same as the past. It turns out the only way to stop using your phone too much is to just stop using it too much. It's like bird shit on your bathroom window. You know you should clean it at some point. But hey, it gives you something interesting to look at on the toilet, and you can hope the rain will wash it away or that a crow never dropped a gross load on your window in the first place. But if you really, truly want it to get clean, you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself.
Cinema. Interesting video. I don't know that I know what my main takeaway is or what I learned from that, but interesting video. I think for a regular person who's not going to do a YouTuber experiment, the one thing I'd say that has helped me personally is trying to get it out of the bed, especially at night. I feel like I've gotten so much better at falling asleep. Yeah, I can just zonk out like insta. But everything else, I'm not sure. Hey, chat, unfortunately, I have to end early today. We have guests at the house that I need to be a good husband for. So, I will be back tomorrow. I do have some bigger stuff coming up. I'm sorry I've been a little distracted. I have on Friday, Hitman VR with Linkus. We are trying the world of Hitman VR. It's all set up, ready to go. That's Friday. On tomorrow, I'm doing the podcast plus, I think, a presentation on Hollywood. Hollyweird, I call it. Okay? I'm going to expose the woke liberal mind virus ruining movies. And then on Thursday, I don't know. I mean, probably then Trump will have started World War III, and I could do a clip on that. Okay? I'm sure we'll have some news by Thursday. So, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Let's raid Squeaks if he's live, or who's live? Who's live? Tasteless is live. I was kind of... Oh, we could raid... Liam. Or we could raid Zane. What is he doing? Why does he have 1,000 viewers?
None of us believe them.
He's doing the... I'll raid Zane. Zane's having a fucking day. Zam. And I appreciate you for watching today. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed the clip. Oh, we also have a Shark Tank on Poppy coming out tomorrow. Should be fucking sick. All right, goodbye.